What is up, guys? Welcome to the Straight Edge Wrestling Podcast, March the 7th edition. Jesus Christ, we're already in March. We're getting closer to normality resuming in the UK. He says.
What, tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow. That's it. End of COVID leaves. If you're new here, please like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Head over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. All the social links are down below. This has been a very good week for wrestling, in my opinion. I think in a lot of ways.
I just got to ask one question. Can people hear you?
People can hear me. I have unmuted myself this week, unlike last week when I recorded an entire show on mute without realizing. But yes, the people can hear me. Yeah, so I think it's been a good week for on the shows as a whole. I think it's been pretty strong. I think SmackDown was actually, for the first time, the weakest show of the week.
I also feel that they threw away some matches that should be at pay-per-views, and especially WrestleMania.
Yeah. I agree.
Fuck.
I agree. Before we get onto that, there is an awful lot of news that has come out this week. I think we start with the news that Jim Crockett Jr. passed away at the age of 76 on Wednesday night. It was minutes after the AEW show went off the air. Brian Alvarez broke the news, and Robert Gibson broke the news that he'd passed away. He'd been ill for a very short period of time with kidney and liver issues, and then he died of organ failure. And I've listened to a few people talk about him this week. Like, he introduced, Tony Schiavone into the business. People like Jim Ross and stuff were like part of Jim Crockett Promotions in the NWA back in the day. And I think it's weird that he's one of those names which no one ever mentions now. He's been whitewashed, at WWE's history books. And like, without him, WCW doesn't exist because that was his promotion. He created the big gold belt. He created Ric Flair he gave Ric Flair the biggest platform he'd ever had. He created the Nature Boy persona. Dusty Rhodes was his right hand man. Creating War Games and all that under him. Starcade, all these like really, really infamous things that we all now as wrestling fans know and sort of treasure as like memories and history, but he sort of just gets lost out of it. You know what I mean? They give a lot of credit, rightly, they give a lot of credit to Dusty for creating lots of things and all that, but Jim Crockett's actual management of the entire business, he was the NWA president for more than a decade. He ran basically all of the territories and was really one of the only people that tried to put up a fight against Vince McMahon in the 1980s, because nobody else was basically, everyone else was selling to him, right?
Yeah.
Vern Gagne and all them were all selling out to Vince, and Jim Crockett actually tried to put a fight up against him. It's a real shame because I think he gets overlooked, and I think that is a shame. WWE did acknowledge him, with a rest in peace thing, but nothing on the shows, nothing on SmackDown, I noticed, whatsoever.
Yeah, let's be honest, though, WWE aren't very good at acknowledging people when they die either. No. And if they do, you're lucky if you get a minute.
Yeah, I think that's a damn shame. I think it's a shame that we've spoken about this before. We spoke about this with Brody. How the hell did they decide who gets just a graphic, who gets nothing, and who gets a 10 bell salute, who gets a video? It just seems completely random, and I don't know. I think it's a bit weird, but there's a lot over at ad-free shows. Conrad Thompson literally just did a 3-hour sit-down interview with Jim Crockett Jr. A month ago, a video interview going through his entire history in wrestling, and genuinely it's a great watch. And Eric Bischoff and Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross and all them have spoken about him this week, and they're doing shows on him. So if anyone does want to learn more about Jim Crockett, go and listen to their shows, because they've got about 12 hours worth of content this week just on Jim Crockett Jr., which is pretty incredible. I love that. Also, something which both of us this week have said is a stupid idea. New Japan is merging. They have ceased their New Japan end up IWGP heavyweight title and IWGP,
which is one of the best looking belts around at the moment,
and the IWGP Intercontinental title. They have both ceased to exist, and they're now created the New Japan World Heavyweight Championship, right? Which, fair enough, whatever. But it starts a brand new lineage with Kota Ibushi as the very first champion. That's the bit which makes no sense. Like, could you imagine how many times has WWE rebranded their shit? they're not just going to do away with Hogan and Bruno and all that. Like they're not just going to.
I don't know. They do try and wipe like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan out of existence every once in a while when they do something stupid.
That is very true. That is very true. Yeah, but like, I think that's crazy. The New Japan, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship has a huge lineage, right? Like dating back to Antonio Inoki and Hogan and all them, like being the inaugural ones back 40 years ago. Like it's a major title, and as you say, it's gorgeous. It's like such a nice title. They haven't shown the new what the new belt actually looks like at all. And if you go on, not that obviously I don't speak Japanese, so I couldn't understand the press conference, but they done a.
Did you not put subtitles?
No, they didn't have any because that'd be way too kind, wouldn't it? They done a press conference with the president of New Japan, sort of announcing it, and when you click on the YouTube video, the like to dislike ratio is about 5% like and 95% dislike. Like the bar is massive because everyone is like, and you can click and it clicks like translate comment and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like translating some of the comments from Japanese, and 90% of them were just like, "This is stupid. Wow, stupid. Why you do this?" sort of thing. So
does that mean they're going to have to redesign then the junior weight belt, because that's like the small version of, or the heavyweight version?
I don't know. I'd see. If they're smart, they keep pretty much the same design, right? Like if they're smart, because that's such an iconic look.
Then retire the fucking belt.
No, I agree. I think there's no logic to
just retire the Intercontinental fucking title then and just keep that one going.
See, this is one of those things again. Like I listened to Dave Meltzer talk about it, and sort of as he does blow smoke up Japan's arse or whatever, where he was saying, well, because they can't beat Kota Ibushi, who holds both belts. They booked the damn show. They chose to put them in that situation. They can get themselves out of that situation. Look how well, for once, how well WWE handled Bobby Lashley. Right? He lost that belt, didn't lose an ounce of steam. If you want to take a belt off someone, you can do it in a smart way. So I think that's a cop out.
So what? This is the whole thing going about just so Ibushi is being basically stripped of titles.
Yeah, so because they don't want him to lose titles. They don't want to pin their world heavyweight champion to make them lose the Intercontinental. So this is like an easier solution, right? Which isn't an easier solution. It's stupid. I don't know.
Well, it's not hard to do something like that. They have a fucking group called the Bullet Club. Have them come down and beat the living shit out of him. He loses the belt quick, but he's the Bullet Club member. And have Jay White get his head kicked in by somebody else with the Intercontinental. There you go. Boom. Bobby Uncle.
I know New Japan doesn't like doing, what WWE does with like the screwy finishes and all that often. But come on, they do them once every now and then. Once is fine. Literally, take a page for once out of WWE's playbook. Do the triple threat. Keep Ibushi strong. Someone else takes the pin. Like WWE, that's how many times have we seen that in wrestling? Like Jesus Christ, it's not rocket science, but
but they've also got ways, like I've just said, because they have these big fucking factions, and why not just use it and just have them get demolished.
All you got to do is build a story up, and like you're exactly right. Build a story up with two members of the Bullet Club being in a three-way with him. So then he's outnumbered. Like they could do a million different things, but yeah, whatever. It's a silly idea.
I think Will Ospreay would look great with the Intercontinental title on his shoulder.
I'd be interested to know whether they walk it back. You know what I mean? Because they've had just nothing but people shitting on them. And New Japan does have a history of just like panicking and then going, "Oh no, we're not going to do that. Never mind. Ignore it. You saw nothing here."
What? Not having a back bang?
Yeah, I said it in a nicer way, but yeah, exactly that. Also. This is such a bizarre one. I didn't bring this up to you when we were talking before because it's just so funny. WWE has banned thigh slaps.
Why?
It's one of when we've spoken about this before, when Vince McMahon gets something in his head and he gets obsessed with that one thing for a couple of weeks.
But then it just means like you're going to make your show sound stupid because it means that you're going to have no sound of any connection.
Because like. Shawn Michaels, I'm sorry, we've seen Shawn Michaels was doing the damn thigh slap back in 1990, with the Sweet Chin Music, because that's the contact noise, because he's not fucking kicking them.
So, let's be honest, how often do you actually see someone slapping their fucking thigh when it comes to TV?
I think the worst people for it are the Young Bucks in AEW, where you can openly see them, like, slapping the living shit. And
Yeah, but they are super kicking people about 30 times in a 5-minute period.
I don't think banning. I think you're exactly right as well. I don't think banning thigh slaps is the answer. I think teaching the wrestlers to disguise it is the answer, right? Like, because that's
Even that. Just make sure your person in the fucking box controlling the cameras does a good thing at the right for now. You can see when a super kick and things like that.
You're exactly right. You are exactly right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, be better at production. And WWE is pretty good at that kind of thing. Disguising it.
Don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, yeah, you may get that thing when you notice it, but it's once in the blue fucking get over it.
But it is. It's one.
I'd rather have the slap and hear the sound and.
I agree. But I found
not
that.
Have...
I found that so funny and so trivial. But yeah, all the reports were that there were signs up all over like Gorilla and stuff before people went out to the ring saying no thigh slaps and all that, like, and that they'd had a brief memo and stuff sent around to say, which is just so ridiculous. It's so
you want right now, in a period where you don't have an audience, there's even less noise in the ring.
That's a great, exactly, spot on. Yeah, that's what...
If you want to do it, wait till Wrestle fucking Mania when you got some people in there to fuck.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. I can't even say anything about it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's another weird one which I didn't bring up to you because I want to get your honest reaction to this because this is it's disgusting, like completely disgusting. Right. So, Joey Ryan, who we know has been accused of just awful amounts of sexual abuse and sexual assaults and different things, right? So he's been kicked out of basically everything. He closed down all his social media, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to book him in any shows, rightly. And then there was a show announced which was called the Women's Wrestling for Charity show. It was like a show which basically had like Molly Holly on it. It had Chris Cage was going to be on there, Carlito. There was dozens and dozens of people, loads of legendary women wrestlers and male wrestlers and stuff. AEW was sending some of its talent over there, blah blah blah, because it was seen to be a thing for like a women's charity, to protect them from sexual assault, etc., etc. So it transpires because they released a poster which had Joey Ryan's face on it, tiny, hidden, that Joey Ryan actually created the show using a fake name and a fake company, had a charity set up by a real right-wing evangelical Christian group which tries to mindfuck women basically and slut shame them and all this. Basically, it was a front to try and get him booked on wrestling shows again and make it look normal. And all these wrestlers were contacted by someone completely different. They were led to believe that when the name Joey was being used, it was Joey Janela. So they were thinking it was Joey Janela, not Joey Ryan. Obviously, Tony Khan, and good on him, tweeted out basically saying, my talent is going nowhere, which has anything to do with Joey Ryan. If I knew he had anything to do with it, I would never even agree to it in the first place, And obviously, the show's now been cancelled because all the talent pulled out when they found out. Is this not just the most ridiculous man on the planet?
I never liked him from the moment I saw him on TV in Impact.
What a complete bellend. That is, when I was reading, I was thinking, this can't be right, can it? But Sean Ross Sapp pointed out, I think it was, and David Bixenspan pointed out that he had attached because he owned a wrestling school called Bar Wrestling, and so when you went to buy tickets, the money was being sent to Bar Wrestling, and that was how people found out, because the money was being sent directly to Joey Ryan for tickets. But he was so egotistical he couldn't keep his damn face off the poster, So the second everyone saw his face, they were like, "Nope, not if he's there." Awful man. Oh, God damn it.
Well, if you don't try, you never know.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyway, the show. Oh no, NXT, moving, probably the week after WrestleMania.
What? Because they're losing the war, or not because of a general sport, and the networks above them are saying, "Move your fucking show."
No. They are terrified of AEW. They're terrified that they're going to be bankrupted at the hands of Tony Khan, because that's what the internet's told me. No.
They do know they can't actually bankrupt NXT, right?
Yeah, like they couldn't even fucking come close. No,
And NXT is owned by, you know, WWE, which is a
yeah,
multi-billion-dollar company.
not going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, no. So, uh, NBC. I mentioned this on the show. I think back last year that NBC was looking to shut down its sports division, NBC Sports, and as a result of that, they would be merging their sports shows programming onto their other networks, onto NBC, onto USA, and the NHL, National Hockey League, airs on a Wednesday. Always has aired on a Wednesday. It gets comparable or less viewers than NXT, but as we discussed, it gets better goddamn ad revenue for sure. You know,
But the funny thing is, all of a sudden, what's the better than the hockey stills fans from
that'd be
AEW?
so funny if people were like, "Oh, hockey's on a Wednesday. Oh, I'll watch that instead." That'd be so funny. And do you know what the thing is, right?
Just to see Tony Khan's fucking face.
The thing here, right, is which I'm going to be really interested in is AEW tends to get AEW varies quite rapidly, doesn't it? But it's like tends to get 700,000 to about 1 million or so viewers, and NXT gets about 500 to 600,000 sort of thing. I'd be very interested to see how many are the same damn viewer, because when NXT is not on air, what AEW's number goes up to. Because I imagine it will probably go up a bit. If they don't break 1 million every single week, the very first week NXT goes off the air, then something is hideously wrong, and that means.
But at least but apart from all that, who cares about that part of the fucking numbers? At least we now get the Tuesday night wars.
Yep. So yeah, they go up against Impact. I think NWA Power is on Tuesdays as well.
You wait for it, because all of a sudden this is where EC3 is definitely going to become a fucking main member of fucking Impact and take the charge of destroying NXT.
He's like, I will get my revenge. Yeah, and what else was on Tuesday? Oh, Dark. Yeah, Dark.
That's not a TV show.
It's not a TV show. No, it's a ridiculously long dark show with some good content. I shouldn't say that, but with some good content.
Well, no, it's not that it's a ridiculously long thing. It's the fact that they put 16 matches on a 2-hour show, so you can't particularly show off your talent as well as you could do.
Yeah, I agree. So, start with Raw. Obviously, right. I think they handled. We'll talk about some other matches in a bit, but let's talk about the main story first. I think they handled Bobby Lashley and Miz here.
What, Sheamus and Drew?
Yeah, I think they handled Bobby Lashley and the Miz here extremely well. Extremely well.
What's Shane McMahon's fucking problem with fucking the Miz?
yeah, I don't know. So I'll tell you this, right? When the first match started and they done the fuck finish and Miz ran away, I was like, God damn it. I
was like, yes.
They're going to drag this out to Fastlane. God damn it, they're going to drag it out.
I think Miz was doing his character quite well with the belt at the moment for it. So.
He had me hook, line, and sinker, because I stayed up and watched that live, and at 1 a.m. I really wanted to punch him in the face, because I was like, the son of a bitch has run away. I've stayed awake for this shit, and the fact we speak about this all the time, don't we?
I was just confused why all of a sudden at like they had that 9 o'clock deadline. I was like, why is your title on the main event?
It did seem a bit weird. But that's a good point. It's like what I was about to say was that me and you talk about this all the time, in that there was a thread. Finally, there was a thread throughout all 3 hours. They started.
And once again, you shit on the Miz, but yet the Miz pulls it off looking at Miz.
Yeah, it does. And the thing is, and Miz.
That's why he'll always be my WWE
Miz
champion.
Doesn't get hurt by this. Miz is the Miz. He won it by being a little bitch. He loses it because he was a little bitch. And now he goes on and does the thing with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest at Mania, which is a cool little spot to be in,
And he goes back to Mania and wins his title back.
Yeah. See, I have always said that I genuinely think that The Miz is one of the best Intercontinental champions ever. I really think he made that belt actually mean something for a long, long time. And I think that's his perfect position. But yeah, I think he's done well. And I genuinely...
Yeah, well, he can't be Intercontinental title unless he goes back to SmackDown.
So I genuinely think that they did an incredible job with Raw, with weaving that thread throughout the show, because I actually stayed awake for the first time, I think, probably since the Raw after Mania last year.
You chatting about? You don't sleep.
So I never normally stay awake for the third hour. I normally either just fall asleep through boredom, or I turn it off because I'm this is just ridiculous, nothing's happening. But I actually stuck around and watched all 3 hours, which is novel. because I thought they did a good job.
Well, how else would you ever find out if Bobby Lashley won the
yeah,
title?
yeah. Well, normally I'd have woken up next morning and just seen on Twitter and thought, oh, okay, right, I'll go back and watch that last match. But no, I enjoyed that. But there wasn't all positives on Raw. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus was an incredible match.
But why the fuck was it put on a Raw TV
It
show?
should not have been on Raw. That was, as you've been saying on this show, we've got it recorded. That was a Mania match, ready, built story.
Yeah, the thing that scares me now is they may lead it into a 3-part match, and it will just be. You have a good second match, and then the third one at WrestleMania will just be shit.
Well, the rumor in innuendo at the moment. It's bearing in mind that they haven't actually finalised the WrestleMania card yet. 5 weeks out.
They managed to sign Brock. They managed to sign Brock Lesnar.
Not by the sounds of it, no. Right, and that's
because I'd love to see Lashley and
exactly.
Lesnar for the WWE
exactly.
Championship.
That was my point, right? Because that's what I would like. That's a match we've both said for many years is a match which should happen. But actually, what it seems like, because Brock's not really with them, is that they'll go with Drew and Bobby. That's actually what it sounds like is the plan at the moment. Yeah. And I don't, and it makes me worry that what they're planning is they want Drew to have his moment in front of fans that he should have had last year, and I really hope they don't, because this is Bobby's moment. This is the time for Bobby. They have built that man so well since the travesty of the Lana Rusev thing that happened. You know,
since he basically come back?
And we should and the thing is, like, MVP, that man deserves a freaking medal. Like, what he's done for, like, all.
You notice a trend with MVP and Lashley. You put them together, and Lashley wins the belt.
Yeah. It's true. It's like MVP's done wonders for the Hurt Business. Like, generally, all of them have
MVP's done wonders for fucking Lashley's career. Every time it comes to the point where he's supposed to have the belt, he gets injured. And Lashley steps in, protects it.
Also, just a side note, I know MVP is injured right now, but how cool does that cane make him look? I was like,
I want to wear a pimp hat.
Yeah, I was like, there was a picture they put up on WWE.com on their Instagram of, like, the Hurt Business and him sat down with the cane. I was like, he just looks like the freaking Godfather. You know, it's so cool.
I really wanted to put a nice pimp hat on with a feather.
Yeah, put on the side. Yeah, I think they look so cool. But yeah, I don't know where they go now with Drew and Sheamus. I think it's a shame. And I think, do you know what makes it even more of a shame is they had such a good match, and by all accounts, everyone's saying that Vince and all the others in the back absolutely loved it. They were raving about it, and I hope that when they came through the curtain, when that was such a good match, Vince was kicking himself, saying, "God damn it, that should have been a Mania thing. I've wasted a Mania."
But you know Vince wouldn't be.
No. Or they're going to dump it on Mania again, and it won't have the heat then, because we've seen it. You know,
it just won't. Probably it's just like you look at, like, The Rock and Hogan. They did it at WrestleMania, then they did the rematch, and the rematch was just crap.
Exactly. I've said this a million times on this show to, like, ad nauseum. You know, when Austin and Rock had their first Mania meeting, we never saw them in a one-on-one match leading up to that, right? Because they wanted that first match to mean something. If they do it at Mania, cool, but it won't have that same energy, that same feel.
Yeah, but to make it feel as big, you're gonna have to add some epic stipulations to it,
or introduce, like, Wade Barrett or something. You know, because then that would be like a cool little thing. They could do that. I'd be happy with that if they could bring a 3-way in with the three of them, because they've all got the same history, haven't they? Together, they're kind of cool. But
Wade Barrett doesn't really wrestle anymore, though.
No, but apparently he's been in the PC and he was being evaluated. So,
although what I'm hoping for though for WrestleMania is the Jim return.
Yeah, see, everything's gone a bit radio silent on that front.
Well, no, because they tweeted. There's some people tweeted out about with him and how good he's now looking in condition wise, and you're just like, Red's on Mania.
Yeah, a couple of quite respect people who I trust who in the rest of the business have said that he did sign a WWE contract, but other people haven't been able to verify it. What sort of contract it was, whether it was a Performer one, New Legends did, whatever. I really hope, but we're getting very close now. So we've got to have to wait. If he's not on the Raw after Fastlane, then I think we have our answer, right? Because otherwise it's a bit rushed.
You said it has to be on Raw.
Or SmackDown. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Although, I mean, yeah, to be fair, because Edge is now basically on SmackDown, it'd make more sense if Christian's there as well, because then they can have some nice little meetings and shit, whatever.
And Edge finally gets a title match. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, there was something else on Raw which I made note about, but Damian Priest, right? I think he's so good. I genuinely think he's incredible, but I don't understand why they're putting him in like really long matches. Why they're not just letting him like mow through people right now? Why they're having him be competitive? Because I know he looks good.
Because while he's on TV, so's a certain other celebrity.
You're right. You are right. You're exactly right. They just want to maximise him at the time they have Bad Bunny on their set. But yeah, it's a bit weird. But I'm happy that Bad Bunny and him have like a friendship, because as long as Bad Bunny is around him, they are not going to beat Damian Priest. Damian Priest is going to be as protected as The Undertaker, because they don't want to fuck with Bad Bunny being on the show. So I'm glad about it, because I love Damian Priest.
So, talking about another thing with Raw, looks like the one thing that is irritating me at the moment is that everyone seems to be overlooking the next pay-per-view that's coming up and going, let's talk about WrestleMania. And one of them being Charlotte Flair.
She just challenges Asuka, right? Asuka's concussed, by the way, because of that kick from Shayna, which was, it was a genuine mistake.
They generally build it up to the thing. Yeah, but yeah, you see the video for the job anyway. They even in tweets and stuff where people said, at least first thing Shayna does is stop and just go down.
She went down and checked on that, and it was one of those bad timing things, wasn't it? Shayna swung.
I did like that. I did like the slow mo on picture of Raw where you see a tooth come flying out.
Oh, I know. Yeah, listen, like when you watch that slow mo, you just see that Asuka just turns her head at the exact wrong time into the oncoming foot, just to be.
Oh, that's right. Always blame the victim, you do, don't you?
Yeah, I'm victim blaming you. Yeah, it was just one of those like genuine like errors where it just bad timing, and it's like I feel so bad for Asuka because. Yeah, but yeah, she did genuinely suffer a concussion by all accounts, which is a shame. But
shocking once again. There's another reason why she can't defend her belt.
Yeah. I hope to God. I'm sorry. I don't want to see Charlotte and Asuka again. I'm sorry.
No.
They have great matches.
Although to be honest, I'd be happy Charlotte having the belt, so I wouldn't mind someone fucking defending the women's title.
And if Charlotte had the belt, they would actually have her on the cut. They I mean, what was the last pay-per-view that just Elimination Chamber? It's like, why wasn't she there? Wasn't she on the cut? But like, she's backstage. That's the thing which it must be infuriating to her, right? That she's sat there with a fucking belt in her hand and they're just not even.
Yeah, but then it's the more frustrating thing. Like at the moment with the pay-per-view coming up next, I have Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair going, well, you just had that with the Raw Women's fucking Tag Team Champion. I would rather see a fucking women's title match. I don't fucking care about seeing the women's champion going for the women's tag team title.
We have had this conversation ad nauseum, right? Haven't we? Over the past 2 years, that they can only do one at a time. Only the tags titles or the women's. They just can't do both. It's like, and I mean, I don't know who's running that damn women's division right now over at WWE. I really don't. Like since Fit Finley's gone, I genuinely have no idea who's running that women's division because they just can't seem.
Probably Stephanie.
Probably, but whoever it is can't seem to be able to keep track on anything. Basically, on how many titles being defended, who, what, where. It's a bit, I don't know. It's a bit stupid. But anyway, NXT. What do you think about NXT?
I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I quite liked the my boy Austin.
Well, the therapy session. It was so funny.
Fucking guy's a superstar. Yeah. I don't care what.
And him and Johnny got a guy. That was a perfect pairing, right? They play off each other so damn well. I thought that was just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but what also makes that thing right now is Indy as well.
Yeah, she plays that her role perfectly.
Oh my god, he's so things I do to him.
Oh, that was so funny. Well, do you know what's funny, right? I didn't watch NXT. It was the only show I didn't watch live because I was watching AEW. So.
Oh, that's nice. You don't watch NXT, but fuck you.
I saw on Reddit just a thing which said like, the things I do to him. I clicked on the video and I was like thinking, oh please let it be like Austin Theory says that line. And I was like, oh, god damn it, it was Indy, but that was so funny. No, they are so. And do you know what NXT is doing a really nice balance of, which they haven't done it in a while? Comedy and serious storytelling.
And Pierce showing up and screwing over NXT female
Yeah,
superstars.
yeah. The son of a
Dick.
bitch is now everywhere. He's going to show up on AEW at some point.
I'd love the way they were in and Regal grabbed hold of him. They were having that conversation later on. Son
Where
of a
the
bitch.
fuck are you? Get the fuck out of here. We're like,
But at least that shows that it's probably going to be Raquel Gonzalez that's going to, at the WrestleMania takeover,
yes.
be the one to beat.
Yeah, yeah. So we got takeovers on 2 nights, I believe, this time. Tuesday.
Unless Tony wins it just beforehand, which I'm really would love.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued about that. I'm genuinely intrigued about what they're going to do. They've got so many women on NXT now, which
and they're all fucking great superstars right now. If I'm honest,
yeah.
through the lockdown phases, they've done really fucking well.
I agree. It's like they've built them so well. It's like, and this is it's not really a knock at AEW, but it is a knock at AEW. Well, it is a knock. It is. I don't know what I'm saying. It's a knock at AEW.
Admit,
I don't know why. I don't know why I tried to censor myself.
They want that. They go see Dave.
I hear a lot of people like Dave Meltzer give them excuses for, oh, it's only been 18 months. It's only been this. As you just said, spot on. They rebuilt their women's division in NXT over the last year. During that pandemic, they went from an okay division to genuinely having several top tier stars.
Yeah, they went from having like your main sort of 3 or 4 with the others sort of podding around to now so many key things you just don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah,
and I want to see what William Regal's planning on, because he said around part of that thing that he had an announcement eventually coming up to do with. So I'm wondering if after that tag team thing, on whether he might do an NXT women's tag team.
Yeah, they might do. They should do something with the women.
And they may as well. The amount of stars or women they got on NXT
that's
alone.
what I mean. They've genuinely got so many women now, and all of them are viable that you could see winning the title.
And at the end of the day, unfortunately, I don't see an NXT women winning the WWE Tag Team Women's Championship. So
I think you're right. I think it's unfortunate, but yeah, I think you're right there.
Because if they were going to do it, they would have done it then.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, next week we have we now know we've got Finn Balor and Adam Cole for the NXT title on NXT.
Have a match just thrown away.
This is counter programming, right? This is them counter programming AEW and trying to do that. And I think they need to stop doing this shit. They've done it way too often. You know, AEW announces Bash at the Beach, so NXT does Halloween Havoc. You know, that sort of thing. They do these things because they're like, oh, we need to counter program. How about you just focus on your damn stories, because you tell good stories when you actually don't rush into shit. You know, and I think.
Yeah, but I've got a feeling this one's just going to lead to the quick comeback of Kyle.
I believe so too. I think it's going to be a fuck finish and whatever. But then even that is like, oh, okay, cool. What you didn't have to do that during an Adam Cole NXT title match. They could have done that in a million other ways.
Oh, but it's okay to do it in a Finn Balor title match, but not an Adam Cole title match.
Yeah. Screw Finn's matches always end screwy somehow at the moment with the Undisputed Era. But this is what I meant though, by the way, is when I'm saying that they managed to tell a really good serious story and comedy stuff all in one. They're telling a great serious story of Undisputed Era, and then really genuinely funny stuff with Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory, which
Austin Theory is a fucking superstar.
I really like the show. I think they're back into that phase now where they're having to restart a load of stories though, right? So they're having to like try get somewhere for NXT Takeover, but they're in that weird phase where Takeover's too long away now to start building something in case it gets a bit dry by then. So now they're just sort of having to half-arse a lot of stuff. But like, this goes to your point. I think you said it last week before, whatever, about
needing some extra takeovers or just
they need monthly pay-per-views.
They need to go to the 12.
Yeah. I think that goes to that, because otherwise you have a lot of you have good highlights of NXT, but then you have lots of just stuff which doesn't matter because they're just having to wait to start stories because we've got 12 weeks to our next show or whatever, you know.
Where WWE, where the main roster needs to remove one fucking Elimination Chamber and Fastlane, both at this stage, is just
Yeah, well,
pointless.
yeah. I mean,
It
that's
was.
that's the perfect example, right? Why not just drop one of them and have one of them like as an NXT show, like just promote that instead of WWE having a pay per view.
Whoa, Elimination
Yeah,
Chamber!
yeah. But like have an NXT pay per view on a Sunday rather than a main roster. Like they could do a million different things, but yeah, I don't know. They don't seem to have the appetite to do that. And Dynamite. I'll say this. What do you think, first of all?
It was interesting.
Personally, I think this is the best Dynamite they've done in over a year. I think it was, whether or not they told many stories, whatever. I was thoroughly entertained throughout the entire 2 hours.
I want to know why Undertaker showed up on AEW and took Shaq.
Yeah. Firstly, let's talk about Shaq, shall we? Because what a man! Like he took that damn bump through the tables, which I never saw coming, and he looked pretty damn good in there, right?
I got to admit, I was so glad for a couple of replays that showed that, because originally when Cody did it, it looked like he landed on his head.
Yeah, yeah. I could, and Shaq had a little Brody Lee tribute. I've put the picture up now when he done the Razor Bomb. He done the Brody Lee. I thought that was really nice, especially from a non-wrestling guy, right? To do that, I thought that was great. I've put a picture up.
Cody looked like a little bitch, didn't he?
Yeah, he is such a big fucking dude, right? Like, it's actually.
I'll tell you who irritated me in that match.
Oh.
Jade.
Really?
Yeah, she plays way too much to the crowd. She
Yeah.
overplayed on so many key things.
And do you know what I think is an issue here is that's her first ever match, right? Like, so other than like training matches, that's her first ever match in front of a crowd. That is risky as shit. Like, I know they've got big plans for her and stuff, and she does look good. I think you're exactly right.
I think she's a great wrestler, a great superstar for the thing, but she overplayed on key things that she should have been.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're exactly right, and I think it's like this is why WWE has the Performance Center, right? And this is why they have NXT and stuff, and that's why they want to start like a new territory system, because they want these people to be refined, ready to go on TV. And I think you're right. Like, she was doing lots of posing and lots of whatever to the crowd, and it's great, yeah, whatever. You can't do it 50 times in a match. You know, Chris Jericho does his like muscle pose, and where he puts his foot on someone's back. He does it once. He does it once in a match. He's not doing it 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So yeah, I think you're right. But
But yeah, but it was literally getting to the stage where she'd do a move and then pose. And you're like, that, seriously.
Yeah, she's got a lot of potential though. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with her. But then the ambulance thing happened.
Yeah, I don't understand why Undertaker showed up.
Shaq just disappeared. What?
I also want to know, how the fuck can someone not see someone who's over 7 foot just disappear? No offense. He's got to duck through normal doorways, and probably with normal single doorways go sideways, because he's quite a fucking hench man.
Big dude. Didn't like Tony Schiavone lost the fucker. Like, come on, Tony, keep your eyes open.
I'm telling you, Undertaker showed up. There's the only way. It's the only way you can make someone disappear. If it isn't Undertaker, it's the Thing.
But they said like a Hall of Fame worthy person coming on Sunday. Fucking lights go out. Undertaker was like, Vince wouldn't let me wrestle. So here I am. No, he's got an ironclad fucking 8-year contract.
I follow Paul. I like Paul's attitude, so I went with Paul.
But and then we had Tully Blanchard wrestling in 2021. This was actually a very fucking good match.
Well, yeah, because you have one of the best wrestlers on AEW, which is Jungle Boy.
Yeah, like.
And then later on, another one of the other best wrestlers wrestled.
Yeah, like genuinely, like the Jurassic Express, like you know when like we say, oh god, like the old people wrestling or whatever. This is the perfect example of when it's done right, how it can work, because they protected him. They let him do his spots, like whatever. They had him do that fun, that little spot where it was like they all held the ropes open for him, and he was like, I'm not doing that, and he like done the strut away.
No.
I love that they brought JJ Dillon in with him. I'm not a fan of JJ Dillon, and it made me laugh so much that Eric Bischoff and JJ Dillon were in the same room just mere days after Eric Bischoff went on his podcast and told JJ to go fuck himself. I thought that was brilliant. I had to tweet that out because I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, please, please, please. I would love to see Eric Bischoff's face as JJ Dillon came out. But yeah, I thought that was genuinely really well done. And Tully looked good for a man in his 60s. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And they brought the old NWA titles out with them, which was a really nice little touch. But Big Show. Big Show had his first appearance on the show.
Old Big Show, is he now? Is Paul White again?
Paul White was on the show. His thing says "No more BS." I quite like that. It's quite fun.
Yeah,
that is quite fun.
I can't blame him.
No, and look, he said that. Well, for all accounts, what happened was he didn't like how he was treated during that Raw. It was what was it? Was it Raw reunion show, Raw Legends show? That Legends show, wasn't it? The Raw where they had Randy Orton embarrass him. Like he didn't mind that, but he said when he basically just gets told what to do, whilst all the other legends that were there, Mark Henry, Ric Flair, all that, it's all a cooperation with Vince, and he just didn't feel he's been respected. And fair enough, he's earned that. He's earned the right to be like that.
That's because Vince is thinking of him now as a Netflix superstar. That's why.
Yeah, well, his show was cancelled anyway, but.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, his show was cancelled, but yeah, he indicated that basically he just wasn't. He believed that he had enough to do something in the ring, and Vince had the complete opposite and didn't want him doing anything in the ring. So, fair plays to him. He's a big name, a big face to put on like their new show. Fair enough. Who do you think the legend's going to be on tonight at Revolution?
Well, it's got to be someone from a former WCW background, right? So what, Kevin Nash?
Oh Jesus, I would love. I love Kevin Nash so much.
Got Hall.
See, they said Hall.
It's not Goldberg at the moment because he's re-signed a contract.
No, he said Hall of Fame worthy, not someone that's actually in the Hall of Fame. So I do, but that doesn't mean that they're not in the Hall of Fame. See,
some people are trying to hint of like Dave Bautista, but I kind of think he's done with wrestling at the moment.
I know lots of people are saying Punk. I don't see Punk doing it. I think they maybe, but I don't know. Whatever, it could be Punk. I know Kurt Angle was someone that people were talking about, mainly because Kurt Angle's obviously just started a podcast with Conrad Thompson, so now all of Conrad's guys, other than Bruce Pritchard, are there at AEW. That he's got.
Well, I can see Kurt Angle doing it just because Kurt Angle wants to be given that one more run wrestling.
Yeah. So that would be a fair shout, because he if he could get back into the groove again, maybe he could actually have a proper
comes back run. Fucks up Kenny and wins the fucking AEW championship would be amazing.
Yeah. God damn it! Could you imagine how much Dave Meltzer would have an aneurysm if Kurt Angle came in and beat Kenny? But yeah, it could be Kenny. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think I'm really worried though that it's gonna be like some random like Japanese person who I've never heard of, or majority of the audience has never heard of, and everyone's just gonna be like, what? Other than like the people who follow New Japan,
Maybe it's the Dwayne Johnson or Steve Austin.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Khan's got a pretty big checkbook, but I don't think that big. Could you imagine if something like Austin was on the show? I'm pretty sure Vince would die. I'm pretty sure Vince would drop down dead, like at the age of 76. I'm pretty sure.
Or we find out the reason why they can't get hold of Brock is because he's now coming to AEW.
Well, that was genuinely one of the names that has been sort of circulating was Brock, because he wrestles for a paycheck. At the end of the day, he doesn't have a.
At the end of, also though, I don't think Brock would put up with their bullshit over there.
Nah.
He'd end up kicking a lot of people's teeth in, and him and Chris Jericho will probably go to blows a lot.
Yeah. I can't believe that Tony Khan would be the same boss that Vince is to Brock, which Vince sort of like respects. Vince and Brock have like a sort of like love-hate respect relationship. I can't imagine Tony Khan having that sort of relationship with a Brock Lesnar.
Tony Khan would be fucking shit scared of him, where Vince isn't shit scared of fucking
100%.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite ever clips when Brock was made to beat Roman and he didn't want to, and then he just threw the belt at Vince, and he goes,
called an arc,
he goes, you asshole! Look at him. That's fucking great. I love that. But yeah. What else do we have on AEW? Oh, we had the Inner Circle thing, which was just hilarious.
Yep, with the other best wrestler on their show on there.
Who's that?
Stu Grayson. He's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
Literally, they're probably two best wrestlers in that company: is Stu Grayson and fucking Jungle Boy.
yeah, yeah. So that match is a really good match to end the show on as well. Very good. But
Yeah,
yeah, and they had their little press conference, which Eric Bischoff popped his head back up and gave Dave Meltzer an aneurysm, as he always does when he pops up. And Conrad Thompson managed to plug his shows while being called Turkey Tits. Travel all the way from Alabama just to
they
be
only come here
abused.
to bring some of my belts over,
Yeah.
and this is the thanks I get.
Yeah, I just come here to give you some NWA titles, and you call me Turkey Tits. That was funny. I like that. Yeah, I always enjoy seeing Eric on the show. I think Eric's so good, genuinely. Yeah, I really enjoyed. I thought the pacing of Dynamite this week was really good. In like it was like bang 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 non-stop. You know, it was constantly something happening.
Yeah, it was really good on things, and it had stories going. And then next week's will probably suck because it's restarting some stories up because, well, we have their first
Yeah,
actual pay-per-view
yeah,
of the year.
yeah. Exactly. Revolutions tonight. So yes,
And in 6 months' time, we'll have the second pay-per-view of the year.
yeah, yeah. With 12 special shows in between. You know.
Which means 12. There'll be about 30 special shows in between. We've already had 12 already
Yes.
in the first 2
That's
months.
true. And SmackDown. Now, this was not my favourite show of the week by any stretch. I think
No,
they spent an awful long time on the Brian Roman thing for Fastlane, which I get they got to build the match or whatever, but that legitimately
yeah,
took
but
up
then
half the,
and,
half
then-
the
and
show.
then they turned racist.
And then they did something with Apollo, which I just don't get. They gave him a freaking African spear, like a tribe spear, and
No,
gave an
I was
accent.
behind all that to start with until he opened his mouth, and I was like, "But we all know that's not how you talk."
Yeah, I
Now I feel WWE's just being racist.
yeah, it was just a bit odd. And honestly, I was sat here at my desk doing some work, and SmackDown was sort of on in the background. I was paying half attention to it, and then I sort of looked over and thought, "What the hell is happening there?" When he was stood in the ring with the two guys behind him and the spear, I was like, "Oh no! Oh god, no!" I had it muted, and I feared to unmute from what was happening because I thought, "Oh dear God, this is going to be hideously racist, isn't it?" Pretty much, it wasn't the best thing. I'll wait to see where it goes, but it was a bit bizarre. But yeah, other than that, they really didn't do much. The steel cage match was very very good at the end. You know, you're never going to have a bad Daniel
Yeah.
Bryan and Jey Uso match, are you? But it just sort of was what it
The
was.
shame Jey Uso lost there.
Yeah, I don't. What the hell are they doing with him now? That's the problem. It's just so. They built him so well. They had him right
Yeah,
there.
but at the moment, until his brother comes back, sort of thing, and until you pack out Roman Reigns' group,
Yeah, see,
is the guy who's got to be taking part of the hit on the side of
do you know
Roman
what my
instead of being able to be pushed
my
better.
biggest fear is that Jimmy's going to come back and they're going to just throw him straight back into the tag division, and like
They kind of, I think part of them they will because it's the one way of trying to own all the belts.
yeah. Oh no! But I
But
mean, I just have this fear that they're just going to like sort of go back to doing their own thing and whatever.
I don't know. I think to start with, you'll end up with the storyline between the two brothers.
Yeah, I hope so. They've got so many things they can do with like infighting within the family and stuff. So
But as long as it ends with the Usos still being the Uso tag team, I don't care because I can't live in a world where I don't have my Uso tag team.
yeah. Oh, and
World is not working.
we finally had Buddy Murphy see Steph again.
What is fucking what's going on with that guy?
No idea.
I don't want to be a friend. I want to be a friend. I don't want to be a friend. I want to be a friend.
No
I don't want
idea.
to. I want to lick your balls. I don't want to lick your balls.
No idea whatsoever. But yeah, it was. I don't know. It was very strange SmackDown because, as you said on Raw, for example, Raw was very heavily focused on Mania. SmackDown was pretty much entirely focused on Fastlane, right? Like that was it, which is fine, you know.
Well, yeah, because you had as I said, you got the tag team titles where it's SmackDown's WrestleMania Women's Championship match going up against, and yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and
Especially the scary thing is for me is if they actually let them win the belts, how do you tell the story for WrestleMania? And what happens? Who takes the fucking? And if you don't, who takes the loss?
I don't know. Really, I really don't like. This is the thing, right? We said it about New Japan earlier. They book themselves into these situations, and then you're like, but you got yourself into this goddamn situation when you didn't need to. I don't know. They have this habit of just the women's titles have to be involved with a women's champion. I don't get it. I don't get it. I will never get it. But
there was another key thing that happened on SmackDown.
what's that?
Poor Reggie.
Say that again.
Poor Reggie.
Did I miss it? I must have missed something.
Carmella sacked him.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Edge. Oh, yeah.
I said
Yeah,
Reggie.
I thought you said Edgy. I was like, what the bloody you call him Edgy for? Like, yeah, Reggie. Yeah.
Oh, there's an R in it.
I couldn't hear it. Yeah, Reggie. Yeah, I know. He's
He got sacked, and then Sasha smacked him up, and then she slammed the door in his face. But yeah, there is a tag team woman that's into it.
I like the fact that he's just sort of sticking around. I don't know who he is really, but there we are.
He was Carmella's.
No, I know, I know, but it's like he just came out of nowhere, and now they're actually building him as a character, which is so funny. I like it. It's entertaining.
I think Sasha missed out on some great opportunity there.
So Revolution tonight.
Yep.
Who do you think's winning the barbed wire exploding death match?
Of course, it's going to be Kenny.
Yeah, it's got to be Kenny in it. This is
just hope his bit on the side gets blown up by one of the mines.
I'm very, very intrigued to see what the hell this match turns out as, but I'm also very, very scared that it's going to look very cheesy, and like, you know, Kenny used to do those. What was the promotion in Japan? DDT.
Yeah.
You know, the comedy crap.
Well, when he wrestled the 13-year-old.
Yeah, and like when he wrestled in a river and all that crap, and a blow-up doll and all this. Yeah, yeah, I'm really scared that it's going to look like cheesy rather than like as they anticipate.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you have John Moxley involved.
That's my only like hope for it, is that because John Moxley's there. But by the looks of it, so it sounds as though there's the three sides of the ring are covered in barbed wire, blah blah blah. When you hit into it, it explodes, and I think they said every 10 minutes or something, or every 5 minutes, I can't remember, there's like intervals, something will explode, and then there's
they throw grenades into the ring.
And then at the end of like, I think it's a 30-minute time limit, the matches, and at the end of the 30 minutes, if the match isn't over, then everything explodes. So has
anyone pre-warned the fans that they got to be out by the end of 30 minutes if the whole ring's all back?
As you see it,
you have 10
down.
seconds before building goes bang.
Yeah.
Anyone told Tony Khan's dad that they're blowing up inside the arena?
Yeah, this is one way to go back on the road, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm wondering whether or not they're going to have a clean win for Kenny, or if they're both just going to die in a horrific explosion at the end of the show. I can foresee both of those things happening. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the show. It should be good. There's 8 matches, I think, so not actually as many as what I thought.
No, there's 9 matches.
I think there's one on the pre-show, right?
There's always going to be one on the pre-show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So 8 on the main card, 1 on the pre-show. Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to most of them. I'm looking forward actually to that Darby Allin Sting street fight.
Well, you know what? I was looking at this one, and Team Taz's team really need the win, but you know it's Darby and Sting getting it.
Yeah, I mean they've been made to look pretty shitty, like Team Taz, like no wins and stuff recently. So yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's like they're not going to beat Sting, are they? And
I don't fully understand this match of face at the Revolution ladder match, which I'm assuming potentially because there's still another person according to this to be added to it.
Yeah.
That could be where the former WWE person show comes in. But I just don't get how you can make it. It seems like your TNT Championship is more important than your AEW one when you could have been leading it to a shot at the AEW title. Fair enough, that means Cody can't be involved, but
they have lots of these sort of things. So like they have like a Casino Tag Team Royale thing, don't they, for the Tag Team Championships. So yeah, you're right. Like the face of the Revolution just doesn't really mean anything. You know, I don't know.
Not when you have the face of the Revolution V belt, even though apparently for them they're both the same level. Well, they're not, because one's a TV title and the other one's a
Is it my ass? Tell me that Darby Allin's belt has been built up anywhere close to Kenny Omega's. Like, please.
Well, it was when Cody was the champ, if I'm honest. Cody did a good job of trying to build it up.
Yeah, Cody did very well, and then obviously dropped it to Brody. Then obviously Brody got sick and dropped it back to Cody, and then it's just sort of fizzled since then.
So what you're trying to say is Darby Allin's not quite the same main event caliber opponent.
I mean, also, yeah, he's not been built up enough yet to be up there, and also since he's actually held the belt, he's been in a freaking tag team. It's like, why is he not? He's not even been really a singles wrestler as such. Like, they've been focusing on him and Sting, right? So
I actually thought this was supposed to lead to probably Sting and Darby Allin having a one-on-one. But now if you've got the face of Rev, and if Sting ends up being that 2BA one, he just suddenly appears at the end and just wins the ladder match.
Could you imagine if they have Sting do double duty as well?
So he just does a Brock Lesnar and like Money in the Bank match. Just shows up at the very end and just picks the.
I would love to see only if Sting comes down to the ring as quickly as Brock Lesnar did and as violently as Brock Lesnar did.
No, because what they'll do is they'll put him underneath the ring and then they'll show the lights out and he'll have to come
up the top. The lights will come back on. He'll be like halfway up. Like, oh fuck. I'm not as sprightly as I used to.
The lights will come on and he won't still have a clue where the fuck he is. What the fuck? My eye vision isn't the same as it used to be.
Yeah. I like Sting, by the way, but yeah, it's like, yeah, God, I'm looking forward to that though, because he does look like he can go, especially in a tag match and in a street fight.
I got to admit, he definitely looked a lot better, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely did. Like last week, he looked blown up really quickly, but yeah, this week he looked better.
Maybe if he goes against a smaller guy than the bigger guy, he won't blow up as quick.
Yeah, Brian Cage is a big fucking dude. That is a big dude. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to tonight. It should be good. But anyway, that was this week in wrestling. That was I genuinely enjoyed this week, and I think Revolution is going to be a very good show. AEW normally does knock it out of the park on pay-per-views. They normally do a very, very good show on pay-per-views.
They're very good at doing wrestling matches.
Yeah, exactly. It's just wrestling matches. But there's lots of gimmicks on this show as well. Lots of gimmick matches. You know, you've got the barbed wire death match, street fight. You got the battle royals and stuff, and ladder match. You got lots of gimmicks, which is weird. There's not really any just straight wrestling matches. Other than like the Bucks,
the tag team championship.
Yeah, like other than the Bucks match, really. It's like.
And then there's the other tag team match with Rio von der Rosa and Britt Baker.
Yeah, but no.
Then there's another tag team match, which is all the tag team matches are
all the tag team matches. But also other than like the men's tag team title match, it's like none of the others really have got much build either.
You chatting about? They've been building a Miro, Kip Sabian, and best friends for a Canadian.
Yeah, but also Kip Sabian hasn't wrestled in like months.
But he had his wedding ruined.
Yeah,
he didn't, but it was the aftermath of his wedding.
Just my personal opinion, I hate what they've done with Miro in AEW. I think they've done an awful job. So like, you're right. They have attempted to build it. I've just not really cared. You are right.
Your head out your eyes.
But it's just my personal opinion. I think.
Oh, don't get me wrong. They haven't done a great job with Miro.
Yeah.
But don't tell me they haven't been doing a story because you just don't like him at the moment. How they built it.
No, you're right. To be honest, I forgot the match was even on the card. If I'm completely honest, so when I said it, I'd completely forgotten it was even there. But anyway, it'll be a good show. There's going to be lots of ups and downs. It's like AEW always gets some criticism from usually the women, but the women's matches that are on this card look that they should be pretty solid.
If Akira Shida doesn't win her match, I'm going to be pissed.
She has to. Like,
and we've also got to wait to find out if Rebel's still going to be in that tag team match because apparently she was injured and they're waiting to find out if she recovered in time.
I didn't know that. Right.
That's what they were saying on AEW Dynamite when they spoke about it. Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
If you watched the show a bit with a bit more detail, you would have spotted that part.
I stay up late and I'm watching them at 3 a.m. God damn it.
Yep, but then if I watch it on repeat, I get to see this information.
No, I completely forgot. But right, well, she's currently still listed, so we'll see.
Well, yeah, they say if she's thinking she's injured, they're just waiting to see if she's cleared or not. If not, Britt Baker's got to find somebody else.
Right, well, that is it for This Week in Wrestling. Head on over and follow us on Twitter at SCW_podcast, where I'll be live tweeting tonight's Revolution, and same over on Facebook. Like and subscribe.
He's lying, he'll be asleep.
I'll be fast asleep. Like and subscribe to us here on this channel. We'll be reviewing Revolution and all the other wrestling that happens in the next weekend. And we'll see you next time. We are